Have you ever had a conversation with someone who needs help but simply not ready to get professional service? Or what about a person who's ready to get help, who wants help but cannot afford your service? Or what about a person who needs help, can afford you, but too arrogant to hire you, or simply not coachable? If you are connecting, then this video is for you. Today's toolkit is specifically for coaching practitioners, and we're going to be talking about how to enroll life coaching clients who pays. So we're still on the runway of our 100 Days Life Coaching Toolkit Mastery Series here in my YouTube channel, and I'm doing this 100 Days Life Coaching Toolkit Mastery Challenge for coaching practitioner, coaching professionals to learn, master, and use the toolkit for themselves first, for you first, and to your client second. But on this toolkit that I'm going to be sharing with you today, I am focusing specifically for you and you and you alone. It means that you are to be a coaching professional or a coaching entrepreneur for you to use this toolkit. And why is that so? Because one of the greatest or the toughest problem of a life coach is to enroll a client who pays. Now, great coaches are great because there are clients. Successful coaches are successful because there are successful clients who are showing up and giving testimonies and a living testimony that life coaching works. So if you are one coaching practitioner, one coaching professional who wants to finally enroll a client who pays, a client who's ready, and a client who's coachable, then stay tuned for today's conversation. So day 39 it is, and we are still on a runway of mastering toolkits. And if you are new to the channel, if you are meeting me for the first time, first consider subscribing to this channel because we're still on a runway of 100 Days Life Coaching Toolkit Mastery Series where you can snag a toolkit for free for a limited time only. And if you're meeting me for the first time, I am Master Coach A. I am the founder and the creator of Life Coach Philippines. And since 2017, I've been helping professionals to get professional training in coaching, get coaching that would allow them to scale up their business, and of course, learn tribe building, because tribe building really works in terms of becoming a professional certified life coach where you can grow your influence, you can grow your impact, and of course, you can grow your income. Now, this toolkit that I'm sharing with you today would allow you to evaluate where are you in your journey of enrolling paying clients. Now, one of the toughest and one of the most challenging thing is when you enter the profession with a big heart and full of enthusiasm, full of inspiration, and full of expectations. And yet, after a certain time, you throw the towel too early because you're not getting clients or you're not closing paying clients. And today, I'd like you to understand that it's one thing to become a professional certified life coach. It's one thing to get the training. It's one thing to master your craft. It's one thing to nurture and strengthen your coaching skills. And it's another thing to enroll a client. Enrolling a client in coaching is closing a sale or making a sale. And whether you are new to the profession, when I say new to the profession, it means this is your first time to dive into starting your business, or you are as a veteran entrepreneur, it's different when you start selling coaching package or coaching service. Now, you probably have heard that people don't buy coaching, they buy the results. And what makes this thing tough is because you are actually selling yourself. You are selling your service, you are selling your very own skill sets. Now, if you've been in a corporate world, even if you are a service provider, and even if you are being paid for the service that you do, you have to understand that you are paid and you are selling a service in behalf of a company. You were selling a product in behalf of the company. And it takes a different ballgame when you are selling you. It's actually a skill. Selling, closing, or getting a client who pays is actually a skill. But not all of us can develop or intentionally develop this skill, because when we enter the profession, we believe that we have a big heart, and therefore having a big heart is more than enough for people to hire us. It's idealistic, and hopefully it was like that, or it is like that, but the truth of the matter, it is not like that. Closing, getting a client and closing that client to become your paying client takes skill. It's a skill, it takes practice, it takes maturing, and it takes a lot of commitment to learn, to practice, and really make it a part of your daily conversation. To begin with, the toolkit that I'm going to be sharing with you that you can snag for free, you can download, will speak of what are the qualifications of a client. What is a perfect client? Who is a perfect client for you? Oftentimes, we run after a client who have a problem. We run after a client who seems to be needing help. We run after a client, or our prospect will always be somebody who got a lot of problem, got a lot of trouble, and we say, that person is perfect for you because that person needs your help. And that's where a lot of disappointments happens, because not everyone who needs help, not everyone who got a problem, not everyone who struggles would hire a professional service provider, or would get a coach, or would even speak with a coach. Now, I want to give you 3 things to be mindful about a client that is good for you, or I would say a perfect client for us, or a client we're looking for. 3 things that must be there. A client must be readily, actively looking for a solution, and wanting to end the misery, or wanting to finally get the goal, the desire, the aspirations, or the breakthrough. It's an ideal situation. It's ideal for us to get a client who's already getting, or wanting, desiring, or ready to get a solution for what they are suffering at the moment. Or it's ideal for us to get a client who's already ready to take the action so that they can get the goals or the results that they want. Well, of course, you can always say you can try, you can nurture, you can dig, and you can do a lot of things to educate a market. Yes. But then again, if the client, the market, the person you're speaking with is not ready, and the person is not yet motivated to get the solution, then it's not a good fit for us, or for you as a coach. Number 2, a good client, a good fit is a client who can afford to pay us. Or I would say a client who's willing to invest for the results that they want to receive in life. You probably heard a lot of people say, it's too expensive, I cannot afford it, I'm not ready to spend for myself, I don't have a budget, and all of this excuses. Because truth of the matter, if the person knows the value of what you're offering, the person who wants something to happen in his or her life, a person who wants to end the misery and the struggle in their lives, would always find a way to get the budget. Now, it's one thing to recalibrate your rate, which I suppose you know how to calculate, and you know how to put a published rate in there. But the truth here is the person in front of you, or the person you're pursuing, the person that you're targeting, your prospective client, is there like readiness in the heart to pay for help? Because being able to afford you is one thing, but being able to come in a space that the person is willing to pay for a professional help is another thing. There are people who have money, who have the budget, who have the provision, but will not pay for a professional service. And there are also people who may not have the readily disposable income, but when they see the value of what you're offering, they will find ways to be able to pay and avail your service. Number 3, an ideal client for us is a client who is coachable. Imagine this, a person who needs help, a person who can afford us, a person who can pay you, a person who screaming that, help, I need help. But that person is not coachable because the person would just question your authority, question your expertise, and will never go forward unless and until all the questions he has got answered. Well, it's a different thing when there's like clarity, need for clarity, need for details versus a client who just wants to challenge what you can do or how you can serve, or a client who's challenging the effectiveness of the profession. So 3 things. A person must be motivated to get an answer, a solution, or motivated to end the misery. The person must have the capacity to pay, the willingness to pay, can afford you. And third, the person is coachable, have a respect for the profession, and the person is willing to submit to the process. This is an ideal client. Now, how to close an ideal client is next part. And just to give you a top of that, an eyes, like a perspective of that, to enroll a client that is already fitting this 3 qualification is easier than to enroll a client who's not motivated, cannot afford you, and of course, not coachable. For a motivated client, can afford or willing to pay, and a client who's coachable, the way that you can close it is simply understanding and hearing their needs. Okay, and in the toolkit, I'm going to share with you a couple of notes, a couple of strategies and tips for you to know if the client is ready for the next step, ready to buy, ready to close, or what is that next step? Okay, so make sure that you download the toolkit, because in the toolkit, I'm going to give you some like scripts to know if the client is ready for the next step that you will probably get to hear in the conversation if you're already having a relationship with the client. And finally, I'd like you to know that closing a client, enrolling a client who's willing to pay is actually dependent on your belief that you can serve the client. It will always boil down to how do you see your capabilities, how do you see yourself as a service provider. If you yourself don't believe that you can deliver the service, then who else will believe you? Take a careful inventory of your skills, take a careful inventories of your training, take a careful inventory of what you can do, and take a closer look, a deeper examination of the readiness of the heart, your readiness to serve, and the expansion that your heart needs to go through for you to embrace other people's problem so you can hold the rope, facilitate the process, and host a space where breakthrough can happen. This is Master Coach A, and if you need help to process your toolkit, give us a call at 0917-586-1661, or better yet, visit us at our coaching hub at Teacup Coffee Republic, located inside Pioneer Center Compound along Pioneer Road, corner Brixtons and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City. We will love to welcome you and work with you. And if you are not yet a professional certified life coach Philippines offer a proactively co-create life coach certification program that is CPD accredited with 40 credit units. I look forward to seeing you inside one of my future classes. Good day, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow for day 14.